Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in again. So we're going to tie a jig style fly today. This is designed by an American guy called Lance Egan. This is the red dart. Always use it as a point fly personally, so I would tie them in a 3.5mm and a 4mm. This being a 16 with a 4, and I'd drop down to an 18 with a 3.5, or maybe even a 20, depending on how good the beads are and how small the slots are. So yeah, as I say, it's been a great fly for me. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Right, so in the vise we've got a Partridge size 16 SLDJ with a 4mm gold slotted bead. So first thing I'm going to come in with is some UTC 70 in red. So I've put a bit of wax on the thread, so we're just going to tie that in, get rid of her butts, and we're going to come down to just before the bend. Like so. And then the next thing I'm going to come in with is some fluoro red cock hackles. These are the Veniards fluoro red. These ones. So I've pulled those 90 degrees from the stem and got all the tips aligned. Sometimes if it's not quite aligned, you can put them in a little stacker, which is what I've just done here. So I don't want these too long. I like these quite short. So I'm going to just tie those right in on the top. They're a little long, so I can pull those down to a length I'm happy with. That will do me. And I'm going to then take that thread right up to behind the bead and cut her butts out like so. Then the next thing I'm going to do is come in with some Mirage Opal Tinsel. This is the small. So I'm going to cut a piece of that off. And then I've also got a length of 6x Tippet. So not fluoro, that would be too expensive, it's just a mono. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line those together. And then I'm going to cut them so that they're the same length at my tying point. And I'm going to pull both of those under the thread, hold my thread, pull them down to behind the bead, and then I'm going to run my thread down to just before the bend, or just before the bend, like so. Then the next thing I'm going to do is take some dubbing. So this is a ice dub in Peacock. So I'm going to, now it can be quite difficult to put on this because they're quite thick fibres, so the key is to do a little bit at a time. Don't take too many off and try and put too much on at once, otherwise it'll just be a mess. You don't want a really thick body, quite a slim body. And I'm not overly fussed if there's some of the red thread showing through. That doesn't really bother me too much. So happy with that. So then I'm going to dub this up to the bead. So not all the way to the bead. You want a little bit of a space. So I'm going to then counter wrap my Mirage. And then what the Tippet is for is to just sort of belt and braces with it, because it's quite a soft material, catching trout and things. You'll get a couple and then you'll have to put a new fly on because it'll break that. So then I'm just going to rib it again with the Tippet the same way I've put the thread on. And you can't even see that Tippet. It just, as I say, it's just belt and braces, helps protect the tinsel. So I cut her butts out there. And then next thing I'm going to do is take some wax, and I'm just going to put some wax on my thread, because we're now going to come in with a little hen hackle. So this is a badger dyed brown from Whiting. And I'm going to take a hackle plier and just hold it at the front, like so. And then I can brush those fibres back. Cut this to a little triangle, like so. And I'm going to tie this in, and that wax really helps this grip so it won't pull out. So make sure it's nice and tight, and then like that. So then I'm going to take a hackle plier. I'm going to brush these fibres back, and then I'm going to wrap palmer it around. So each turn I'm just brushing those fibres back. You know, you could use CDC if you want, but I'm staying true to the sort of original here, so I don't want too much. So now I'm going to tie that off, a couple of turns behind, a couple of turns in front, and cut that out. Like so. So then what you do is just neaten up a little bit. And you want those, you want the feathers, excuse me, to probably go just to the back of the bend of the hook. So then the next thing I'm going to come in with is some UV Ice Dub, and this is in a shell pink. So again, don't want too much of this. So only a little bit, just for a little colour. So I'm going to put that colour in, like so. And then I'm actually going to build up a little hot spot on that bead of the red thread. So you can see that building up now. And then the last thing to do is just take some varnish, a bit on your thread, and then we can whip finish. Again, always doing a double whip finish for added security. And trim out our butts. So that's been a really productive point fly for me over the years. I've caught trout and grayling on it. So, you know, give it a try. Hope it works for you. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.